Lots of great racing at Churchill Downs on Saturday. It's Stephen Foster Day, closing day of the spring meet, but we're also going to have half an eye on Thistledown at DeRosa, where we've got the $500,000 9 furlong Ohio Derby, and there's some really good three-year-olds. It's turned out to be a great race.
Yeah, and in the past, the Kentucky Derby, recent past, it's actually had a lot of last-out winners, so expecting more of the same this year. And Joe, I know the Cubs got the best of the Indians in 2016, but at least there's still an Ohio Derby.
Yeah, no doubt, and there's not an Illinois Derby. There might be in the future.
Maybe.
We'll have to wait and see how that plays out as we move forward past 2021. Let's talk about the matter at hand here. You're talking about Kentucky Derby alums. Keep Me in Mind, a horse that you've been a big fan of. There should be a decent pace in here. There's some cheap speed to go along with some of the other horses that have forward type styles. I think the pace will be honest enough. 9 furlong distance could be the equalizer.
I agree, and based on the Brisnet Ultimate Race summary, it definitely appears as if it's a fair playing track. I was hoping to maybe see a little bit of bias towards closers in two-turn races, but you can win from anywhere, and there is a lot of pace in here. I actually went into the race, Joe, thinking, all right, this is finally the time I'm going to pick against Keep Me in Mind. But then the more I looked at it, the more it just seemed like he was the one. I mean, Mask Parade, I have to think, is going to ensure an honest pace. Took a long look at that one, but ultimately went for the opposite end of the pace structure in a closer.
There's some horses in here that are trying to get fresh starts and move forward towards the summer and the end of the year and try to live up to some of those expectations. Proxy is one of those. He was very competitive in the Fairgrounds preps. A little bit of a head case, still trying to catch up mentally as a son of Tappet. You gotta think that he's going to run a big race potentially for Mike Stidham. And then you talk about the Derby alums. He didn't make the eventual starting gate, but King Fury was a buzz horse going into the first Saturday in May. And, you know, Brian Hernandez Jr. is going to stay at Churchill. He's got En Boutant, a lot of live mounts. You get Corey Lannery here for King Fury's return. Missed the Derby with a fever, but has been training forwardly since. I loved him in the Kentucky Derby as a potential upsetter. I got to like him here.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, if you liked him in that race, there's no reason not to like him about 5 hours north in Cleveland. I would say with missing the target and then the layoff, 9 furlongs against this group would be my concern, but it's going to be so evenly bet. If you liked him as much as you did, then I agree with you. Now's not the time to jump off.
Yeah, I mean, King Fury was so good in the Lexington, and that was even off of a longer layoff than this.
That's true. Fair point.
Kenny McPeak had him ready for that race. Proxy, I think, is going to run a big race for Mike Stidham. You mentioned Mass Parade. He had his coming out party, Kentucky Derby week here at Churchill Downs. Haven't seen him since. He ran a career best to try to avoid maybe a bounce. Al Stahl giving him plenty of rest and opportunity moving forward into his first graded stakes start.
Yeah, and you have to think a trainer like Al can dance any dance he wants in the condition book, finds this spot, then races like the Haskell and Travers come into play if he runs well. It was a pace against play. I think he's going to be roughed up on the front end. And Promise Keeper, who also figures to take a lot of money, is another one I'm against on the rail. Luis Saez, though, coming in for the mount. Certainly confidence there.
Very interesting. So the Ohio Derby is race number 9 on the Thistledown program on Saturday. It's worth $500,000, 9 furlongs. I'm going to go with King Fury. Add once again your pick.
Keep me in mind.
All right. Keep us in mind, the Twin Spires, twinspires.com, and the Twin Spires app for all of your wagering pleasures. Best of luck in the Ohio Derby.